Welcome to Financial with Ahawo. It's a joy and exciting to be together with you again as we continue on our Making Wealth series. And this time we're talking about mindset shifts. And today I want us to build up on what it means to make shifts. So we've looked at how do we play small, we've looked at a disciplined set of rules, and then we're moving to the place of our mind has kind of begun to rethink, to reprogram, and we're challenging ourselves in terms of the things we want to move forward with. And we've also set the ground rules. So kind of this is the direction we're going to take. So how do we then plan it out and just say, it's about time to make this move. It's about time to just go in the direction that I have envisioned for my finances. And like any journey, and we've said it time and time again, it's just going to have to begin with small steps. We've had all these quotes of, it's better to get moving because you know you're going somewhere. And of course, you've now set up your rules. So you kind of also know the somewhere that you're going to. But the journey has to begin. Making a shift is going to mean that your thought process will have to change. You'll have to challenge yourself not to think in the same way. So I was talking about last session, as we talked about the set of rules, how I took a moment to process a decision which I ideally would have made within an hour. But I gave it time, and having given it time and prayed it through, the decision I made was now the correct decision that shifted me in the direction I need to go, because I retained the pace that I had set out to go for. So making shifts is going to have to look at you intentionally, taking the journey, but intentionally putting the checkers for you with the rules and the boundaries that will enable you to continue in that direction. Making shifts will also mean going against the grain, starting to actually do the work. Sometimes there's a form of laziness that catches up with us when things just kind of become normal and you know the direction you've been going on and you're like, this works. But there just has to be a level of putting in the work towards moving in the direction you want to take. You know, kind of like writing it all out, seeing it in one space and deciding, okay, this is how it looks like, talking it out, listening to a different opinion, and then making a decision that is more all-rounded. It's not going to be easy, but it's going to be important, because it also means you're training your mind, you're training your ideas, you're training even the people around you to expect you to show up differently than you had showed up before. And that's going to be key to be able to make the move. And just like anything, I look at it like the law of gravity and lift. So gravity is the law that keeps you, coming back down and staying where you're at. And lift is the opposing law that kind of calling you, come, let's go. And if you think of an aeroplane, before we got where we are, before the Wright brothers showed us, things can actually be in the air as birds do, because there's a certain law which they are able to play off against each other and get this to happen. It's the same thing. There's going to be a push and pull, but finding the balance is going to be key in then enabling you to get to the lift that the shift is going to call you to. Now, the idea of lift and shift is not mine. It's a good idea. Let me just be defined. But it's an idea that enables us to kind of just think through what is a shift going to mean for us. I'd encourage us to take a pause, look at one thing at a time. I know there's always this thing of let's just move and see how things go. But the moment you take one thing, consistently work on it over time, get it going, then move to the next thing, then you're also able to monitor how your shift is happening and you're able to celebrate the small wins. Because when it comes to making shifts, sometimes you're waiting for the big thing, but you're making so much progress with the small things until you actually see the bigger outcome when you've done it progressively for a time. So I can use an example which we've talked about in the past. If you choose to make a shift in how your expenses are happening, it would mean then you're taking time to track your expenses. It would have to be a process over time, probably a month, 2 months, 3 months, for you to get the full scope of your expenses. But the consistency in doing that means you're able to pick the pattern, and then you're able to determine what are the areas that need to change or need to be addressed or need to be revamped. And then you're able to now make the shift to the next level. But your mind has seen already over time, consistently, what needs to change. Then there's a preparation for you to make the move. It'll take work, as I've said. It will take time, but it is doable. And that's why we're here in this journey, sharing experiences, just encouraging you to think through that in that direction. And there are times you'll do better than others. There are times the shift will be instant. You'll be ready to go and move. And there are times the shift will be like what I've said, gravity and lift the aeroplane before it leaves the ground. But it's going to happen. So keep at the journey. Keep writing, because then there's something for you to go back to that keeps you accountable. And we look forward to seeing you at the other end of this journey, making the progress that you have wanted to make for yourself. Thanks for listening and looking forward to the next conversation. It's Ahawo.